Hello, I'm Glider Hernandez. I'm the president of the board of the European Society. I want to thank you all for having taken the time to record your personal testimonies for this video. There's a lot of heartfelt stories, a lot of biography of our community, how it's been built, how it's come together, and of course our future.
As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, we reflect on incredible journey that has brought us here. So imagine it's the year 2001, a time when international law in Europe was energetic, but something crucial was missing.
It's wonderful to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the European Society of International Law. A little bit of history. ESIL, the European Journal of International Law, was born 35 years ago in the courtyard of Michigan Law School when Bruno Sim and I were walking around, and we said, isn't it time that there would be a European journal that would give a fight to the American Journal of International Law? ESIL was born 15 years later, a conversation of Philip Alston and myself. Now that we have ESIL, shouldn't we have a European Society of International Law? Yeah, too, it wasn't easy. I was told to say something funny. Well, I find the following funny. There was opposition because we were told, how is it possible for European Society of International Law to be launched by 2 non-Europeans?
Picture a continent brimming with government officials, diplomats, legal advisors, and scholars, all working tirelessly in their own corners, but without a common stage to bring them together. The need for a grand European network, a kind of legal superhero league, was palpable. Despite the growing importance of cross-border legal discussions, there was no single forum to gather all these brilliant minds under one roof. The stage was set for something remarkable. A diverse group of international law luminaries then gathered at the European University Institute, a venue chosen for its European essence, a touch of independence from any national influence. It was the perfect place to birth a society that would belong to all of Europe, and yet to none of the same time. Today, we have the honor of hearing from those who have been with the European Society of International Law since its very first days, sharing their joy and reflections on this incredible journey.
When I first learned about the European Society of International Law, I thought this was a great idea. It was an absolutely necessary undertaking, and I was totally enthusiastic, and therefore went to the inaugural meeting in 2004 in Florence. And in Fiesole, it was just a magic atmosphere. It was so great. Through some kind of coincidence, I got elected to the board, and that's where I started to participate.
I've been a member of the European Society of International Law for 20 years now, and I can't really believe how quickly the time has flown. Like many other colleagues, I'm sure, I have appreciated being a member of the Society, above all because it has allowed me to meet interesting, exciting people, to build networks, to continue talking to colleagues, fellow international law nerds, on all sorts of things, whether at the conferences or outside them.
Dear European Society of International Law, I am very grateful to you. I think without you, I'm not going to have this international career that I have today. European Society of International Law was with me since the beginning. I couldn't imagine in 2004 that I will be the first person to open the conference in Florence, and I was, and elected in the board of the European Society of International Law. Without European Society of International Law, us Eastern European international lawyers will never be integrated in Europe and in the world.
I just want to send a big happy birthday greeting to a wonderful organisation, the European Society of International Law. I'm thrilled to have been a member from day one. The idea that European consciousness and the contribution to international law.
Hello, colleagues. and a happy birthday to the European Society of International Law. It's been 20 years since a group of academics assembled in Florence and decided to create this European institution of international law. And since then, it's been great to see the society growing, thriving, and doing so well.
From the visionary meeting in Florence to the vibrant, dynamic community we are today, the European Society of International Law has been a beacon of knowledge, collaboration, and justice. Our society has united scholars, practitioners, and policymakers from across Europe, fostering a deeper understanding and addressing the most pressing issues in international law. These years have been marked by groundbreaking discussions, influential publications, and a steadfast commitment to promoting the rule of law and human rights. We have navigated complex global challenges together, strengthened by the diverse perspectives and unwavering dedication of our members. The bonds we have forged and the knowledge we have shared have not only enriched our professional lives but also contributed, we believe, to a more just world.
I can tell you that building European Society of International Law is not an easy task. Sometimes I think that, in fact, the establishment and the development of the European Union is a more easy task. The reason is that our traditions in international law in wider Europe are, in fact, rather different. That's because the histories are different.
At the beginning, ESIL was for me the place where I met in person with many of the authors I read and respected. A place where I could discuss with people who were as specialized as I was in certain subjects. A venue where I was enriched personally and scientifically, and it made me a better professional. But also, and this is important, a place where I contributed to building a modern European perspective of international law.
ESIL was precisely that, the breaking of national identities and an attempt to build common spaces, common discourse.
I also think a huge benefit of the society has been to be able to travel all over Europe, from Naples to Vilnius, from Riga to Cambridge, and to be able to see really how big of a community of scholars we really are.
Should be reflected in such an organisation. It was a thrill when it first happened, and it's a thrill still today. I love going to the meetings. One of the things that distinguishes it from so many of the other professional organisations is the youth and the energy, and the fact that it really is the whole of Europe that comes together. We're a continent, warts and all, that have made a significant contribution to international law, and ESIL, like no other organisation, brings together the passions and the energies and the challenges and the differences and the debates. It's vibrant, it's exciting, it's energising.
I am deeply grateful to the European Society of International Law for the lifelong friendships and invaluable connections I have made. ESIL has enriched my journey with meaningful relations and profound sense of purpose. Your support, your encouragement have been a guiding light in my journey towards contributing to global justice. ESIL is a place where brilliant minds meet, friendships are forged, and the pursuit of justice feel less like a work but more like a passionate adventure.
The funniest experiences was surviving the ESIL board meetings under the crossfire of Marko Milanovic's jokes. Usually, people feel sorry for the board members when, on Saturday afternoon, after the annual conference or the research forum, they have to stay in a meeting instead of sightseeing in a nice European city. But if they had known how much fun we had in the board meetings with Marco, many would have preferred to attend the meeting. Even a Ronald Camper had a good laugh.
I first heard about ESIL 20 years ago when I was working at the International Court of Justice. And I heard about this new society that Judge Zimmer was involved in setting up, and I very quickly joined it. I've then had the opportunity to participate in ESIL as an audience member, as a panelist, and since the session in Riga, I spent 4 years on the board of ESIL, which was a great experience.
Above all, the European Society is a story of friendship with people who I appreciate immensely for their scholarship in professional collaborations, but also and mainly in our private relations. The laughters over shared dinners and during after meal drinks. Turning older, you need to be more selective in what you accept. So I established criteria to say yes in case of invitations. Professional, academic interest in the project, how you like and appreciate the people who are involved, and, in case of conference, where it takes place, whether I want to go there. In our society, usually they all come together. It's a 3-time yes. That's why I'm here in Vilnius. And that's also what I'm looking forward to live in ESIL for the next 10 years.
You always find a wonderful panel or agora that enlightens your mind and in a way that you have not anticipated before. But what I remember most is the trusting, almost family-like atmosphere of the interest group meetings, where you could discuss with the best specialists in your area of expertise in a relaxed environment and at a very high level.
Each year since its founding, the European Society of International Law has brought its vibrant community together in stunning cities across Europe. From Geneva and Paris to Budapest, Athens, Vilnius and beyond. These gatherings aren't just about beautiful venues. They're about fostering deep connections and sparking meaningful discussions on international law. Alongside the annual conferences, the ESIL also hosts the Research Forum, a dynamic space where early career scholars can showcase their work. With 21 active interest groups, countless joint events, and initiatives to support members from all backgrounds, the ESIL truly spans the continent, offering unparalleled opportunities for learning, networking, and collaboration in the ever-expanding field of international law.
More than any other society, for me, ESIL stands for the plurality of voices. Our society brings together the voices of younger and of more senior scholars, the voices of academics and of practitioners, the voices of scholars from different regions, all across Europe and abroad. So, one of the most important achievements of our society is the promotion of exactly this plurality of voices.
My lasting impression of ESIL over the last 2 decades is really a visible embodiment of how it has grown over the years. I started off during my time on the board with working on the mentoring events that we hold at each conference. And now I see the people who came to those sessions as people wanting to be mentored, mentees, and now the mentors themselves. So that's such a wonderful development to see within the society, and I hope that it long may continue.
Observing mostly from the sidelines, I must confess, perhaps a little bit like grandparents observing their grandchildren, I marvel at the growth of the society, the initiative, the reflections, the interest groups, and similar such things. And since for me there's no East Europe, West Europe, Old Europe, New Europe, but one Europe, I particularly appreciate the success of ESIL in integrating all parts of Europe into the European Society of International Law. There's work to be done, but the success so far is notable and very appreciable.
I wish the Society to continue with all of the excellent endeavors that the Society has begun, most notably with very important reflections on various topical issues of international law, because generating the discourse on international law in Europe in view of the many problems, many crises that we live through, that is extremely important, and the voice of European experts and the European academics.
It's been 20 great years. The challenges ahead are very clear for us in the next period, but ESIL has an enormously important role to play, and I'm thrilled to have been a part of it, and I'm thrilled to be in association with all the fabulous young scholars and practitioners and thinkers about international law and society. Happy birthday, ESIL.
We've had the opportunity to get together in so many cities and capitals of Europe throughout these 20 years, to have academic discussions, but also to have fun and forge ties and friendships throughout these years. So it's great to see this dream of 2004 become true, and it's great to see that it continues to grow. I wish everyone well and a very happy birthday to our society.
Happy birthday, dear ESIL. Joyeux anniversaire, cher ESIL. You aged really well while staying young. You're innovative while safeguarding what has been good. You have traveled well to ever more countries. So I wish you to continue on this path, being an intellectual home to ever more international lawyers. And I wish you strength for the crises to come, defending free speech, academic debate, and the values of international law.
And it's been fantastic to be part of something new. The first 20 years we've been building, we've transformed the society into something that has all the momentum going forward. To those of you that have come before me, thank you for giving us this opportunity. For the next generations, keep fighting. Thank you.
Here is to 20 years of inspiring minds, shaping international law and building a stronger, more just world. May the journey continue for many decades to come, full of growth, innovation, and the firm spirit of collaboration. If you are still not with us, come to be a part of our journey, because saving the world is always better together with accumulate knowledge and wisdom and a bit of humor and a lot of heart. Long life, ESIL.